You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
City Hall brawl. A potential land annexation by Cherokee Village has many citizens up in arms by Lauren Siebert. If you think your Council of 8 would be favored by any judge or jury in this land, you are sadly mistaken, because your basis of annexation would be considered blatantly abusive of the rights of others. Here is a little free advice. Save your money that your city desperately needs to spend wisely. Leave us alone by not funding any initiation toward annexation, unless you want a lengthy legal battle. We have the resources. We are pleased with the support of Fulton County officials and surrounding communities, and we will fight to protect our rights to the highest courts, Philip Orr said, regarding the potential annexation of his land. Nearly doubling the design capacity of the Cherokee Village City Hall, a crowd of almost 200 citizens verbally pounded city officials at the February 16 City Council meeting over a possible annexation of 3,680 acres of land between Ash Flat and Cherokee Village land, that the owners are pulling out all the stops to defend. Before the meeting came to order, Cherokee Village Mayor Lloyd Heffley argued back and forth with members of the crowd, who wished to discuss the potential annexation. While the audience cheered and clapped for those who spoke up to engage the subject, Heffley refused to discuss the issue of annexation during the regular meeting. According to Cherokee Village Planning and Zoning Commission Chairman Tom Rizzo, the Planning and Zoning Commission first introduced the possible annexation issue in early February in an effort to expand retail business opportunity for the city. We're in a budget crisis right now, and it's because we don't have retail businesses. We're at the breaking point. Are we going to be aggressive or just be a retirement community? Rizzo stated, during the Planning Zoning Commission report segment of the meeting. The council did not allow any discussion from the crowd at this time. After the meeting was adjourned, the council members remained seated to hear statements from the audience. We appreciate all that Cherokee Village has to offer, and have family members and friends largely responsible for its existence, but, in due respect, the city of Cherokee Village constantly has issues with its 14,000 acres, while the stewards of the estimated 3,680 acres Cherokee Village desires, remain peacefully happy until now, Philip Orr said. There are a lot of reasons for the landowners to be opposed to being annexed into the city of Cherokee Village. For instance, the city has an ordinance against livestock. If we are annexed, then what about our farms? Even if they grandfather in our right to have livestock, what about if the farm sells someday? The buyer isn't protected. The property value will be devastated, Orr said. This is the second annexation issue to pass through City Hall in the past 12 months. The first annexation involved Cherokee Acres, a 10-resident, 160-acre section of Fulton County. The result was the April 7, 2011 annexation of the land in the face of 100% opposition from all property owners. Nearly a year later, in the February 16 meeting, citizens persisted in addressing the mayor and the council members, stating their opinion that the city had not been forthcoming with the annexation plans, and questioned the council members on their motives. Mayor Heffley reminded everyone that the Planning and Zoning Commission meetings are open to the public and they would be the proper place to discuss any annexation plans, and repeated that there would be nothing about those plans to discuss at the city council meeting. When one citizen asked if the crowd were to leave, if the present annexation issue would be discussed in their absence, Councilmember Jerry Adams replied, possibly. The council stated that nothing had been decided as far as the annexation, adding that the issue had not even been presented to council, and was only in the early discussion phase with the Planning and Zoning Commission. You have the power to nip this in the bud right now then, landowner Bob Murphy said. As community members and citizens of Cherokee Village proceeded to pressure the council, Tom Rizzo was asked by council to explain to both the council and those present exactly what actions had been taken so far regarding any possible annexation plans. and the reasoning behind those actions. Our job is to help Cherokee Village maintain property values. We're in a situation right now where we are a tourist and retirement community, Rizzo said. We're in a place where we can continue to do that, or to try and become more of a progressive town. According to Rizzo, if the city of Ash Flat were to expand to the west, Cherokee Village would be landlocked as far as highway frontage goes, stating that Highland and Hardy are already surrounding Cherokee Village to the east. The P&Z Commission is looking into the future. Because of the financial state of the city, some members of the city council had suggested the city needed more retail businesses, Rizzo said. We started discussing this February 1st, about areas to possibly annex. We were looking for the okay to spend $450 for 2 possible surveys. P&Z won't spend any money before we come to ask the council for approval. Originally Rizzo was on the agenda for the city council meeting, but asked to be removed, and was asked why. We have not decided what we're going to do, and we're getting a lot of negative input, Rizzo explained, and we understand that, but we're looking at the 10 to 20. We're still looking at the issues and we understand their feelings on the issues, so we're backing up a little bit, Rizzo said. It doesn't help having a big crowd. We're going to discuss it in the March meeting. According to a new organization, residents of Cherokee Village opposed to annexation. Many Cherokee Village residents also believe the annexation is not in the city's best interest. Several citizens opposed to being annexed had come prepared with literature and other documentation to present to the council. One such document was a letter sent by Beverly Nix, daughter of one of the potentially affected landowners, who is also on the Metropolitan Planning and Zoning Commission for Jonesboro, ARC. The letter discussed how the annexation did not meet any of the requirements to be valid, and added a question simply about the practicality of annexation in this case. How many additional policemen, firefighters, police stations, fire stations, trash pickup, etc. would the expenses be for this annexation? If you cannot provide the services and balanced budget for the current city area, what is your thought process in adding additional land, thus requiring additional expenses? Nix asked. After the reading, the council members had no comment. Currently, the group opposed to the annexation has formed 2 organizations, one comprised of landowners in the annexation area and another comprised of Cherokee Village citizens. According to Philip Orr, the group is working on a website, t-shirts saying no to city, legal counsel, watch committees and more, in an effort to save their land. In reality, we should gate the community we occupy from Cherokee Village, until you gain the ability to govern yourself better, Orr said, closing his letter to the council.
You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Ash Flat to welcome new business. The new facility, with a 6-bay shop, will allow Brogdon and his team 3 times the space they have now. By Lauren Siebert. Al Capone's Garage, in downtown Hardy, is moving into the Dillard Building in Ash Flat at the beginning of March. Dillard's will continue to operate their pre-owned and classic car store at the front of the building, while Al Capone's Garage takes up residence in the back. According to Al Brogdon, owner of Al Capone's Garage, he and his team are excited about the move into the new location, while also hoping to keep the Hardy operation going, if he can find the right person to manage the location. It's a possibility I'd keep this place in Hardy. If I could find someone to run it, it would allow me to take care of my Hardy people, Brogdon said. It would be easier on them than going over to Ash Flat, especially for flats, oil changes and some of the smaller stuff. Hardy, along with Sharp County, has taken care of me since I moved up here, and, because of the town and the people, I'd hate to leave Hardy. Brogdon says he is actively looking for someone to speak to him about what they could do at the Hardy location. I would really like to keep it open. It wouldn't have to be full service, just preventative maintenance, Brogdon noted. I have the equipment to set up at least 2 shops. Equipment's not the problem, it's having the people to run it. According to Brogdon, the move is out of necessity. He says there is nothing available that would be large enough to support the growth of the shop in the Hardy area. "We're excited and my boys can't wait," Brogdon said. "We just need more room, we're tripping over each other right now." Relocating to the new facility will allow Brogdon and his team 3 times the space they now have. With the 6-bay shop he will be leasing from Dillard's, Brogdon says he feels this will be a good thing for the area's communities. "Each of my boys will have 2 bays and a lift. I also believe this will allow us to reach some people we maybe haven't been able to in the past," Brogdon said. "I have Ash Flat and Horseshoe Bend customers that come here now, and I think this move will work out well." Hours have not been set for the new facility just yet. Jobs are scheduled, if it's possible, so they are done by the end of the day, but they usually stay as long as it takes. "Our hours are uncertain. Usually the boys open up at 7:30 a.m., and tentatively we're here till 5:30-6 p.m., Brogdon said. "We usually work till we're through, not when the clock strikes a certain time." According to Brogdon, he has a lot of mail carriers and police cars he works on, and sometimes his hours of operation don't fit the work schedules of those specific services. "If they have something tear up towards the end of the day, I'm going to fix it for them so they can go the next morning." Brogdon would like to welcome everyone to check out the new location when he opens in March, in the Dillard's building at 251 Highway 62, 412 in Ash Flat.
You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Back on track. Imperial Theater to open March 17. After suffering flood damage in 2011, the Imperial Dinner Theater is repaired and reopening by Lauren Siebert after the spring flooding that devastated the Imperial Dinner Theater along with parts of Pocahontas in April 2011. The Imperial is back on track. The Imperial Dinner Theater first began 25 years ago as a modest ballet studio in a garage, but soon grew to a school with a well-rounded arts curriculum including jazz, clogging, drama, tap and voice. The Studio for the Arts, founded in 1987 by Andy Evers, is the mother organization from which the Imperial Dinner Theater was formed. After moving from facility to facility, the organization purchased the old Imperial Movie House in downtown Pocahontas in 1994. Soon the theater outgrew its location and realized that if the theater were to continue to succeed, it would need to be capable of competing with larger venues. In 2004, the new Imperial Dinner Theater opened at its current location of 1404 Highway 304 East in Pocahontas, across from Black River Technical College. According to marketing coordinator Shane Cummings, when the flood hit, it devastated not only homes but also businesses on the east side of Pocahontas. "Everything 3 feet and lower was destroyed by flood," Cummings said. "Practically everything that is of use is below that mark, so we practically started from scratch." With no flood insurance, the board for the theater had just about given up hope. "We didn't have insurance for flooding, because it had been determined by the insurance company to not be located in a flood zone," Cummings said, "but we applied to FEMA and now a year later we have received a check for $40,000 to help with the cost." The Imperial was severely damaged by the flood, affecting everything except the costumes which were located on the second floor of the theater. Desks, chairs, ballet bars, mirrors, drywall, files, office equipment and so much more had to be torn out and totally replaced, Cummings said. According to Cummings, the theater, after much repair, is ready to be up and running. "Our greatest desire is just to get back into the swing of things," Cummings noted. "We had such a good thing going here, and the community loved coming to the theater." As the old adage goes, there is always a silver lining. According to Cummings, one good thing that had come from the devastation of the theater was the fact the theater has been able to come back bigger and better. "We were able to update our look, and I believe the people will really love it even more now," Cummings said. From the ashes rises a phoenix. so to speak. According to Cummings, the theater will be holding its first show since the flooding in March. We open March 17th. With the comedy it runs in the family, our students are ecstatic to return to their classes, Cummings said. Repairing the theater was a very worthwhile endeavor. It gives community members an affordable place to learn and be entertained.
You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
New alcohol tax proposed in Cherokee Village. A proposed tax on alcoholic drinks is under discussion, and would result in a 5 to 10% tax on alcoholic drinks at private clubs by Lauren Siebert. Alcoholic drinks in private clubs will be subject to a new tax if the City of Cherokee Village passes the ordinance discussed at the February 16 meeting. Councilman Curtis Bratcher introduced for discussion a proposed ordinance 2012-A. An ordinance levying a supplemental tax on the sale of alcoholic drinks, beer, and wine by private clubs. At this time, this is for discussion only, in the simple form that it is now, Bratcher said. I asked the mayor to write a letter and send it to the concerned parties. The council discussed at what percent the tax would be set, first debating a 10% tax on all alcoholic drinks served by private clubs. My understanding on that is 5% was the amount that John Abiel, our city attorney, believes can be done, Bratcher said. The council noted that Jonesboro's tax was originally set at 3% and eventually raised to 5%. Those funds generated by the tax are given to the police department for drunk driving, anti-drug and alcohol programs. One councilman posed the question of putting the generated revenue toward the Cherokee Village Police Department. Bratcher stated that although it was a good idea, it would mean creating another program the city would have to manage, and currently that is not something the city could afford. I can appreciate your remarks, but our budget is not such that we need to add any programs to it, Bratcher said. We need to be cutting. This would be adding another expenditure item. This just needs to go in the general fund for support of all the programs. According to Bratcher, putting the funds generated from the tax in the general fund would help offset the loss of money transferred to the fire department, and would also help balance the budget next year, when the street department runs out of funding. Councilman Kent Veers noted that he felt there was a potential for the tax to be more harmful than helpful, where the community was concerned. I'm a member of the Elks, and the revenue they generate affects the community. Our dues and the money we generate goes back to the schools, for the backpacks and scholarships. We have about 63 families we give Christmas baskets to, and 127 kids we give Christmas gifts to, and we support the veterans, Veers said. I feel they're having a hard time out there now, to help the community like we do, and, unless we increase the prices, we'll have less money to spend to help out. The discussion was brought to a close by Mayor Lloyd Heffley with a statement, I believe these are all good ideas, but we need to take time to look the material over, send a letter to the concerned parties, and come back next month and look it over at the next meeting.
Thanks for listening to Spring River Chronicle Audio on the Go. Be sure to subscribe to the paper and check us out online at myspringriver.com.